Hey, my brother Divine. I ended my last video actually teaching you about one key that's written in scripture, and it's the part when scripture tell you that everything that you see comes from the place which is unseen. Then I also told you about death and life. Not life and death, because actually life and death, that's one thing we learned. It has no partnership. But death and life, oh, that's a marriage there. Now let me dig into it. Teaching you from everything that you see comes from a place which is unseen. Even we come from that place which is unseen. Which, now let me tell you about life and death, or death and life, or life and birth. Death and birth, or birth and death. All right. We all come from a place which is unseen. Yes, each and every one of us. We come from that place. Now, how do we get to that place? Well, hence is where the first death comes in. See, we died from that place which is unseen, but you were birthed into the womb of the woman. When you die from the place which is unseen, you are birthed into the womb of the woman. Do you understand this? This is your first death and birth. Now, in the womb of a woman, which is still sort of a place that's unseen, because as the fetus grows inside the woman, we don't get to see its growth with our physical eye. But yet, it was birthed into the womb of the woman. It died from the place which is unseen, but it was birthed into the womb of the woman. Now in the womb of the woman, it lives, it grows, and it dies once again. All right? Every child, when it comes out of the mother's womb, it has to be jolted, shocked in some type of way, because it dies from the womb. Which is why normally they tell you when they pull the baby out, then they smack the baby on the behind to get it to start. Because when it leaves the womb, it's dead. Hence, your second death. But now you are birthed again, because you die from the womb, but you're birthed out into your own flesh. This is your second death and birth. Now, while you're in the flesh, brother, while you here, your main goal, every man, whether he realizes or not, is born to grow. And so we grow, as well as in our mental capacity. Whether your mental grows in a derogatory state or upbuilding state, that's totally up to you. That's your will. But while you're in this flesh, choose your will wisely. Because when you leave this flesh, hence you're going to go back to that place which is unseen. And there in that place which is unseen, oh, you shall be judged. By the one who you say Jesus, he's not God. Yeshua, he's called. I hope I didn't explain that to you. That the reason why we have so many different names for that man over 2,000 years ago, who is the only man that is God. And now let's get into that. Yes, I'll tell you that. The one whom in the English language we call Jesus, whom he's called Yeshua or Yahshua, or even in some language they call him Jah. Other name they call him Buddha. But we all talking about that same one. That same man over 2,000 years ago. The one whom is the great Redeemer. You know why he's called the Redeemer? Because in the scripture, Jesus tells you, have I not said that ye all are gods? And he did not lie. But if you remember, there's a story from the beginning which you don't believe in. And you should. Because everything, just like you, had your beginning, which actually never begun. Because as I said, you come from the place which is unseen. And you're going to go back to the place which is unseen. And when you get back there, you shall be judged according to how you lived while you were in your body, your flesh. Which, if you tell me your body is your temple, man, you really don't know. Because scripture tells you your flesh is nothing but a weak and a filthy thing. All right? So if you call your flesh, your body, your temple, then your temple is filthy. Your temple is weak. Now, how do one make one's temple strong? Well, it's from the spirit. See, I told you you're made up of three things: a soul, a spirit, and your flesh. You're going to leave the flesh. You're going to go back to your spiritual form. In your spiritual form, that one who is God, that great Redeemer. Because remember, we fell from that place when man disobeyed and touched that which he was not supposed to. And I even got a story there, but you're not ready to hear that yet. You have to grasp into your third eye, your mind's eye, this story that I'll tell you of where you come from, which is the place which is unseen, which we call it the hereafter, which when you leave the flesh, you shall go back unto the hereafter, and ye shall be judged. And if he deems you not worthy, remember I told you you're made up of three things, right? Right now, me, you, we're composed of three things. We have a soul, we have a spirit, and we have our flesh. When we leave our flesh, we'll go back to our spiritual form. Do you know what your spiritual form actually is? Well, next time you go outside and you standing and the sun is shining, turn around and look down at your shadow. Because that's you in your spiritual form. That's like the darkness giving shape and form. Which, like, you're not ready for all that yet. But you should understand what I just explained to you about the place which is unseen and about the three deaths and births that you are going to go through. And right now, you done went through two of them. You're awaiting this last death and birth. And make sure, because you'll be judged for this one. And scripture tell you that too. There's one death that you're going to be judged for. And that's this one that you await. And remember what I told you. Death is only the beginning pains of birth. So know that when you leave your flesh, your spirit gonna stand before the Lord thy God, and he gonna judge you. And if he judge you deemed not worthy, you remember this saying that we got soul on fire? I know you gotta remember that. You from my era. And there used to be a slogan that man used heavily back in the days. Soul on fire. They even made some movies, even some songs with that title. Well, you really don't understand what it's saying, right? Because when you stand in your spiritual form and you're judged and you're deemed not worthy, your spirit shall be stripped. And your soul shall go and be fuel for the fire. Do you know where hell is? You're not ready to understand that. Just let that sink into your minds thus far about the three deaths and births I just explained to you, and about everything that you see comes from the place which is unseen. And on my next video, I'm going to take you into creation. Like when in the beginning, there was darkness. Before the planets, before the sun, before the moon, before the stars, before any of single-celled organisms or life forms as we know it. I'm going to take you back from there. I love you, bro. Watch my videos.